Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. I am your chemistry teacher here. Today we discuss about the fundamental particles of an atom. Fundamental particles of an atom means that the electron, proton and the neutron of an atom. But first of all we discuss about the atom. That what is atom? Atoms, tiny basic building block of the matter. Matter is composed of the atoms. Now what is matter? Matter means that anything that has a mass and occupies space is known as matter. All the material on the earth is composed of the various combination of atoms. All the things that is present around us composed of the different combination of the atoms. Combination of atom means when atoms combine together to form the different substances. Like an atom consists of a cloud of the electrons surrounding a small dense nucleus of the protons and the neutrons. Means that the nucleus of an atom consists of the proton and the neutron. An electron revolve around the nucleus in a fixed circular path called a shell, orbit or the energy level. Then, atoms are the smallest particles of a chemical element that still exhibit all the chemical properties unique to that element. Means that we know that the atoms, when the same types of atoms combine together to form the element, and when the different types of elements combine together to form the compound and the different products. So, in the case when we take the example of element, like the same atoms combine together to form the element. We take the example of gold. In gold, when the same types of gold atoms combine together to form the gold element. So in that gold element, all the atoms having the same physical and the chemical properties. A row of million atoms could be only about a centimeter long. Means that when a row of 100 million atoms combine together, so it will be represent a centimeter long, because atom is the smallest particle of an element. Then we discuss about the structure of atom. Structure of atom, like the atoms are made of smaller particles called the electrons, protons and the neutrons. Atom is composed of the electrons, protons and the neutrons. These are the fundamental particles of an atom. So, an atom consists of a cloud of the electrons surrounding a small dense nucleus of the proton and a neutron. In the center of the atom, nucleus is present, and nucleus consists of the proton and the neutron, and the electrons revolve around the nucleus in a fixed circular path. Then the electrons and protons have a property called the electric charge. Protons and electrons having the property like the electrical charge. Electrical charge means that the electrons having a negative charge and the protons having a positive charge, which affects the way they interact with each other. These two charges means the positive and the negative charges cancel the effect of each other and with other electrically charged particle, and they also interact with other electrically charged particles. Then we discuss about the structure of atom. Like you can see, you have seen screen that the nucleus consists of the positive portion like the proton and the neutron having no charge, and the electrons revolve around the nucleus. So it's the structure of atom. We can also say that the fundamental particles of an atom like the electron, proton and the neutron, and these are also the elementary particle of the atom. Then we discuss one by one the fundamental particles like the electrons, protons and the neutrons. Electrons were discovered by Sir J.J. Thomson. Electrons are tiny negatively charged particle around the nucleus of an atom. Sir J.J. Thomson discovered electrons, like that the electrons are the minute negatively charged particles that are present around the nucleus of an atom. Each electron carries a single fundamental unit of the negatively electrical charge. Each electron having a negative charge like the minus 1.602 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. Coulomb is the unit of the charge and has a mass of 9.109 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 31 kg. Sir J.J. Thomson discovered electrons having a minute negatively charged particles around the nucleus and having the electrical charge like the negative electrical charge minus 1.062 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb and has a mass of 9.109, or we can also say that 9.1 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 31 kg. The electron is one of the lightest particle with a known mass. Electron having a light mass, lightest particle, so that's why electron revolve around the nucleus. Electrons cannot be split into the anything smaller. Electrons cannot be split into anything. Also, electrons don't have any real size. Electrons don't have any real size because but are instant true points in space, such as electron has a radius of 0, means that electrons having no proper size, but they are present in space like a point, like a mathematical point, that the electron has a radius of 0. Radius of 0 means that the radius of the electron is negligible. Then we discuss about the protons. Protons were discovered by E.Goldstein. Proton has a 1 unit mass. Proton has a mass like the relative atomic mass is 1. Protons have a positive electrical charge of 1.602 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb, and protons having a positive charge like the plus 1.602 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. This charge is equal but opposite to the negative charge of the electron. We discussed previously that the electron has a electrical charge like 1.602 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 19 and having a negative charge, and in the proton having the same charge like the 1.602 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb but having a positive charge. Then a proton's mass is about 837 times mass of an electron, means proton having 1837 times heavier than the electron. Protons carry a positive charge of the plus 1, exactly the opposite electrical charge as the electrons. Proton having a positive charge like the plus 1, it's the opposite like the electrons, and electrons having a charge like minus 1, electrical charge like minus 1. The number of protons in the nucleus determines the total quantity of a positive charge in the atom, means that the number of protons show the positive portion in the atom. Then we discuss about the neutron. Neutron was discovered by Sir James Chadwick. The neutron is slightly heavier than a proton. Neutron is slightly heavier than a proton, means that neutron having higher mass than a proton and 1842 times heavier than the electron. Neutron having neutrons is slightly heavier than a proton and 1842 times heavier than the electron. Neutron electrically neutral elementary particle because neutrons having no charge. That is a part of the nucleus of an atom, or that is present in the nucleus of an atom, because having high mass, heavier masses, so it is present in the nucleus of an atom. Both the proton and the neutron present in the nucleus of an atom because of the heavier masses, and the electrons revolve around the nucleus. The neutron is about 10 raised to power minus 13 centimeter in diameter, and its weight is 1.6749 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 27 kg. So we discuss electrons, protons and neutrons. Then you can see on your screen that the structure of atom consists of the positive portion proton and neutron that is present in the nucleus of an atom, and electron which is shown with the red, like the electrons revolve around the nucleus, and this path, when the electrons revolve around the nucleus, so this path is called the shell, orbit or the energy levels. Then we discuss fundamental particles in the form of a table, like we have the fundamental particles proton, neutron and electron having the relative atomic mass, proton having 1, neutron having 1 and electrons having 0.005. Relative charge is a proton plus 1 and a neutron is a neutral particle, neutral, and electrons having minus 1. Charge in the unit of coulomb, protons having 1.6 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb, neutron having no charge, and electrons having 1.6 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 19. So both the proton and the electrons having the same charges, but in the case of protons having plus charge and in case of the electrons having minus charge. So both these charges cancel the effect of each other, and then the mass in the unit of kg, proton having 1.67 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 27 and a neutron having 1.67 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 27. Both these having the approximately same masses, but the neutron mass is having slightly higher than the proton, and the electrons having 9.11 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 31 kg. Then we discussed that the atomic particles having different sizes. Atomic particles mean that these fundamental particles having different sizes and different charges. So the neutrons having the larger with the no charge, protons larger with positive charge, and electrons having small mass with the negative charge. Then we discuss examples showing the number of electrons, protons, and the neutrons. Girls, you can know that you know about the atomic number. Atomic number means that the number of electrons or protons present in the atom. So oxygen atom, its atomic number is 8, means that this atomic number 8 shows that it having 8 protons and 8 electrons. In the center 8 protons is present, and in the shells having 8 electrons are present. So these 8 proton and 8 electrons cancel the effect of each other, and also 8 neutrons are present, but neutron having no charge. So we can say that atom is a neutral particle. Why? Because the positive or the negative charges cancel the effect of each other. Then the outer shell consists of the 6 electrons and the inner shell consists of the 2 electrons. You can previously discuss that we can find out the number of electrons in the shell by the formula 2n square. So for that formula 2n square, for the first shell we can accommodate 2 electrons, and in the second shell we can accommodate 8 electrons. But in this case, when oxygen having 8 atomic number, or oxygen belong to group number 8, so its outermost shell, its outer shell consists of the 6 electrons. 6 plus 2 having 8 electrons. So then we proceed in the case of the helium. Helium having atomic mass 4 and atomic number 2. Atomic number 2 means that it's having 2 electrons and 2 protons. Both these electrons and protons cancel the effect of each other. Then we discuss about the carbon atom. In carbon atom, atomic number is 6, means it has 6 protons and 6 electrons, and also have 6 neutrons. So the 6 protons and the 6 electrons mean the positive or the negative charge cancel the effect of each other, and we can say that atom is a neutral particle because the number of protons and the neutrons are equal, and it will be cancelled. Then we can discuss about the nitrogen. Nitrogen atomic number is 7 and atomic mass is 14. So this atomic number shows that it having 7 protons and 7 electrons. Both they cancel the effect of each other. Both the charges cancel the effect of each other. Then we discuss about the difference between the protons and the electrons. Differences between the electrons and the protons. Protons and electrons. Protons having a positive charge, electrons having a negative charge. Protons having a positive charge +1 and electrons having a negative charge -1. Protons are significantly heavier. Electrons are comparatively light in weight. Electrons are heavier, so that's why it is present in the nucleus of an atom, and electrons are comparatively light in weight, so that's why it's revolve around the nucleus. Protons are significantly large in size. Electrons are comparatively smaller in size. Then the protons remains in the nucleus. Electrons can move to the other atom due to the chemical reactions. Protons are present in the nucleus clouds. Electrons are present in the shells.